Hey, welcome, everybody. Welcome to those of you on Facebook, also on the financial page on Facebook, which is a financial advisor page on Facebook. Let me get that straight. And also the Iconic Advisor channel on YouTube. I want to welcome one and all again to another Sunday. And of course, as promised, one live per month. And of course, I hope you guys are watching the videos and listening to the recommendations and also following some of the recommendations. I want to thank all the new subscribers on the YouTube channel. I want you also to remember to like and to share with your family and your friends. There are a lot of information that have been shared there that are very important and also that can be, help you in terms of your budgeting, in terms of planning your financial welfare, and also doing your generational wealth planning. So today, like any other Sunday, we have some interesting topics, and today we're going to be talking money again. Last month we spoke about love and money, and this month we're going to be doing financial infidelity. And I have someone who is qualified to expound on that topic today. And I've had him before, always excited about having him. And there is going to be a part two. We only can do part one today because of how we want to divulge and we want to make sure that you have the information, can move forward and know where we can fix from what we can fix. But of course, guys, I want you to welcome this week with me none other than my favorite counseling psychologist, of course, Andre Allen KC. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Thank
How are
you.
you?
I'm doing very well.
You are. Well, I can see comments already. Greetings. Thank you for the Matthew Project. He was the one who dealt with love and money in our previous presentation, which was last month. So we can't talk about money enough and relationship. And Patricia is saying financial infidelity. This sounds like it's going to be interesting. Thank you for joining me, sir, for taking the time out of your busy schedule. Sunday afternoon is not an easy afternoon. After we cook, we know the ethnic fatigue, sleeping kicks in to prepare for Monday morning. So I do appreciate it. But let's just jump into the topic, sir. What is financial infidelity?
Okay. Financial infidelity is the secretive act of spending money.
Ooh.
Um, it speaks to possessing a credit card or credit cards, holding secret accounts or stashes of money, borrowing money, or otherwise incurring debt, a debt rather unknown to one's spouse or partner or a significant other. Just in a nutshell, that's what financial infidelity speaks to. Let me repeat it. It is a secretive act of spending money, possessing credit cards or credit card, holding secret accounts or stashes of money, borrowing money, or otherwise incurring a debt unknown. The key point here, that's why it makes it an
Unknown.
infidelity, because it is unknown to one's partner, spouse, or significant other. So that is in a nutshell. I do have something else to share in relation to this. Financial infidelity involves actually a series of secrets. And again, use this word now, secrets and lies that, of course, can devastate a relationship. Financial infidelity is any money related conduct that involves one spouse being less than truthful or forthcoming with the other spouse. It often starts off small and inconsequential. For example, buying an expensive pair of designer shoes. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, by the
Sounds like the ladies.
way, or claiming that they were irregulars and marked down some 75%, or skimming off the household budget, or even buying less groceries, so to speak, and then keeping the savings in a separate account. And so over time, the financial fibs, of course, grow larger and larger, and the non-truthful spouse, if I can use that term, may justify his or her actions by rationalizing that it's necessary for future financial security. I have some statistics if you're interested in hearing those stats though.
We are. But what are some of the reasons for this financial infidelity?
Um, the reasons vary, but let me share these with you, and then again, share
I
some
see
stats with you.
some one of Martin said, scamming between the sheets. That's true.
Let me cover my eyes on that one. Okay. But what are some of the reasons? People often cover up any money behaviors that they think their partner may disapprove of,
Mhm.
or they hide their dishonest behavior in response to their fears of how the other uses money. And here's another one too. Um, a typical scenario, of course, involves the spending spouse and saving spouse who try to reconcile each other's financial incompatibilities, like a balancing act, so to speak. You know, the saving spouse may miser away money spending without the spending spouse's knowledge, that is, and justifies his or her actions by thinking that it's in the couple's best interest to save money for a rainy day. Of course,
Mm.
the question is this deceitful? I say yes.
With,
You can say no, but
even
I
with
say
good
yes.
intentions.
Well, it is also dishonest because why don't talk? Why can't the other person know what to do in? And if
But
you're going
then
to
if
do that,
what if you know that that spouse is the one that is a spendthrift? So you're trying to somewhat protect us financially. So I know if you know that I have this stack of money, it done.
well, that is true. But guess what happened? If 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 you can have that level of honesty where your money is concerned, even if you justify why you're doing it, it's still some kind of infidelity because the
Hmm.
other spouse is not doesn't
Knowing.
know what you're doing and why you're doing it. You know, so my argument is all you have to do is just say, hey, um, I am putting away some money, and you're not gonna know where it is. Just come out and say it. I'm putting away some money and you're not going to know where it is. If the other spouse feel like they have to hold it out to take it from you, maybe it's time for you to leave that relationship.
Yeah.
Anyways.
What?
Can I share some
And that's
stats?
one of my questions too. But let's answer this one first. What are some of the reasons? Well, I think I mentioned one. If you have one who is a spendthrift or one that is not in terms of budgeting, doesn't understand money, that person and may have gone into the relationship unknowing of the debts that they have. So I don't think I'm responsible for paying that debt. So of course, may I protect some of the money in terms of our future children's education, whatever it is, goals and dreams that we may have or brought to the table. What are some of the reasons for this financial infidelity?
Well, but like I said, they, they, they would continue to withhold. They may have their good enough reasons as to why they do not want the spouse to know. Sometimes, as you have rightly stated, they're trying to protect or they have a bigger goal at stake. And
Mm-hmm.
so that might be a reason, as you have mentioned earlier, that might be a reason. And by the way, I'm not saying the reasons are not possibly justified, but Robin Hood felt justified in stealing from the rich to give to the poor. Robin Hood is still a so the ends doesn't necessarily justify the means. And so all I'm just saying here, at the core, in sharing my definition with financial infidelity, even if you have a good enough reason rather as to why you're not going to let your spouse know what you're doing and why you're doing it, it is still withholding information secretively rather doing something that is unknown to the spouse, even if you believe that you are doing it for a good cause, so to speak.
Right.
So for the good cause is the number one thing or reason that folks would say as to why they are withholding this information from the other spouse.
because we are speaking of budgeting with couples, and I'm thinking when the discussions or some of the presentations that I have done with budgeting and the 50/30/20 rule in terms of your reoccurring expenses, the expenses that we have to focus on, and then you have your debts, your savings, and also your needs. And it is based on the income of the family. So all of those things have to be factored in. And then here comes this issue where it comes to financial infidelity. If we're not able to plan properly, and when we have money being scammed, as Martin would say, between the sheets, um, are there couples in Jamaica based on your experience? You know, are you seeing this in couples, persons coming for counseling with these issues or premarital counseling?
Well,
Have
any kind of relationship. So the answer to your question is definitely. Many couples are either too embarrassed to admit to to their partner that they are either a spendthrift or a miser or a hoarder or greedy or bad money managers, or just simply want their independence. And so
mm,
it is easier to hide these compulsions to satisfy your crave than to manage, or rather than to be managed by another. So that is my answer, my response to that question.
can I um avoid financial infidelity if it is that we have separate accounts? I have my account to deal with my, so I know that I need to be dealing with the recurring bills. Your account, or which is your income goes to that account, is to deal with debts and investments, etc. Is it, can we separate the responsibility to avoid this infidelity, or is it only when we have a joint account that you see this infidelity happening?
Okay, you're going into a part two, but okay, let me. The truth be told, that um, most times into the joint account, you might recognize because you are able to manage the account simultaneously. Um, as far as the joint account is concerned, um, if 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 it's not a joint account, then it is harder for you to recognize if there's any kind of infidelity,
Yeah.
especially if you both have decided that it is okay for you to manage your account separately, but of course have a central account that speaks to the expenses that both of that manages both of you simultaneously. So it is not infidelity if you are managing your own account. Clearly, what you do with your own account is up to you.
Well,
However,
it's an well, not alleviating the point that it is an agreement that we have had, that this is, I'm dealing with this and you are dealing with that.
right.
We have an understanding.
Right. So it would not be now. Remember, now it only becomes a problematic if if the understanding is broken, or the what's the word I'm looking for, the responsibilities, whether this person is supposed to be paying the light bill or the cable bill, or paying the mortgage or the rent. And let's say this is one person's primary responsibility or goal when a relationship is concerned, or pay the school fees, but then you find that that person keeps on, um, you know, um, faulting
Yeah.
where those responsibilities are concerned. And then you might ask, what is the reason? What is the problem? And worse, if that person decides now to lie, when in truth and in fact. So therefore, I am
So
not
it
going to
can still
prioritize.
happen if we're not being honest.
Right. So I'm not prioritizing what my responsibilities. So I'm going to withhold some money here, or maybe I have a debt, and I want
Yes.
us to be mindful of that.
Genuinely.
Maybe
But
I have a debt and I cannot have incurred a debt, and I cannot let you know, because the minute you know, you're going to blow your roof, blow the roof, blow your top, whatever. So I can't make you know that debt that I'm having. So I'm going to hide um um what is it that I'm doing as far as repaying that debt is concerned.
is is this infidelity the similar to having a partner outside of a relationship, outside of a marriage?
Boy, you're going in some deep waters. Put it this way, and a lot of folks believe that um, It is a form of cheating,
Mm.
literally. Technically, for some folks, it is a form of cheating, and um, but it does not involve intimacy. So the difference is that it does not involve intimacy. And so, since financial infidelity involves a secretive act that, well, let me put it this way, then withholding the truth to your of your finances and or financial compulsions from your partner, of course, can be considered deceptive. And so that's the point we want to make here. And so therefore, full disclosure, I believe, is strongly recommended to mitigate against suspicions and accusations.
Yeah. Um, well, what sort of issues does the financial infidelity creates in a relationship generally? Do you see anybody ending in divorce or separation as a result of financial infidelity?
Okay, I'm going to answer this question, and after I've answered this question, it definitely I definitely need to share with you some statistics.
Yes.
So ask me about the statistics after this question, because just maybe the statistics in relation to financial infidelity on a whole. Um, but to answer that question, yes. What other issues the financial infidelity creates in the relationship? Trust. I mean, it's almost a no-brainer to answer that question. But trust issues are almost a predictably an obvious response to issues created by financial infidelity in a relationship. Trust, of course, here is broken because one partner was more interested in satisfying and or fixing their financial constraints without letting the other partner know. Some folks might say, but I don't see anything wrong with that. Um, and I'm saying um, not if you see you're doing so and other responsibilities are being um, um, not upheld or withheld. So that's when it can become quite problematic. The breaking down of trust, of course, will contribute to attrition of
Mm-hmm.
teamwork,
Mm-hmm.
a loner mentality, and of course, erosion of security and support. So definitely trust, but let us understand that at minimum the three areas in which um, it can become problematic in the relationship. And we are saying this loner mentality, take for example, the loner mentality. Um, is my money. All of a sudden, is my money, or is me making the most
My
money,
money, money, ha, ha.
right? I'm making the most money. Since I'm making the most money, then you should not. I should have the I should have more authority as it relates to it. And I'm not saying even if you do have more authority. All I'm saying here, what was the agreement that was made? And why is it that you have decided to 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 start a new relationship outside of me? And what is the problem in you sharing with me this information? And this is where the statistics can come in now. May I?
Yes. Yes, please. Please
Okay.
do. And the statistics is showing for here or
Just
other
generally
regions.
speaking, just generally speaking, I must admit. So generally speaking, so there's a self.com and today.com. So we can look it up. We can go into the information and find it. So what I have here is not unique to me. Literally, you can do your own research and you'll see that you'll have similar information with what I'm sharing here. But self.com and today.com conducted a survey of almost 24,000 men and women, of course, and found that almost, watch this now, 50% of married adults admitted to keeping money secrets from their spouses. I don't finish yet.
Not
Additionally,
surprised.
additionally, the survey revealed that while 37% of men and 56% of women admitted to lying to their partner about money, 63% of men and 70% of women agreed rather that being honest about money was as important as being monogamous. So when you ask that question about does that affect the relationship, both of them at least admit that, listen, a high percentage, 63 and 70%, says it's important for us to have the conversation about money. I don't finish it. And yet another US poll found that 31% of couples had committed financial infidelity. 31%. And I still have more to share with you. those secret credit card purchases that folks have been making behind your spouse's back and might be doing a lot more damage. I'm saying to your relationship, and I just use credit card as just one little example. This person take out the credit card and nobody know, and you're paying on the credit card, and you're racking up the credit card, and you can't manage the credit card, and all of a sudden now you can't pay your rent, you can't pay this, you can't, because you feel like you have to satisfy the minimum payment,
or it becomes our debt.
and then and no, it becomes our debt. It's no more financial infidelity because the minute you're going to say to your partner, can you help me do this? The person can say, when did you incur this debt? When did you have a credit card? Didn't we agree that we wasn't going to take on any additional expenses? How and why did we reach right here? And so somebody knows that they have done wrong. And that's why they're going to hide the information. That's all I'm saying. But I still have more information to share about the stats here. According to a new report by moneysupermarket.com, 1 in 10 people admit that hidden credit card purchases have played a part in their separation or divorce. And this is why I mentioned the credit card thing. Polling 1,000 men and women, of course, the British price comparison site also found that 36% of those who had lied about their spending did so because they knew their other half would be angry.
Mm.
While a further 35% said they kept their purchases hidden because they knew their partner would disapprove. Can I just share one more last stats here? Can I just share one more last stats here?
Go ahead.
Here's another interesting finding. While women were 60% more likely to hide a statement from their partner and admitted feeling more guilty for doing so, it was the men who spent more on average. Now you go figure.
I like those statistics.
You go figure. You go figure. In a July 2013 research out of Kansas State University, they found that arguing about money is the top predictor of divorce. Arguing about money. And in 2011, a study conducted by the National Endowment for Financial Education found that 68% of the time, financial infidelity has had a negative impact on relationships, with 16% of marriages ending in divorce because of it. So this is what we're saying. This is why we need to have this conversation about financial infidelity, and we'll have part two to talk about it. Talk some more. Maybe we can tease some folks with some questions that we want to have in
Yes,
part two.
we need to engage them with some questions because people are genuinely going through the experience that I'm also having in my field is when it comes onto insurance and investment. In terms of the planning and the budgeting, there is one that believes in it and another may not believe in it, and we are, a spouse would want to make sure that if anything should happen to the father, the children and I would be fine. So I need to take out an insurance. I mean, that is the extreme that it has gotten, that people are afraid of that because you're gonna take out an insurance on me. Why? Without my knowledge. But people are exploring those options to say, I need to do this because he doesn't believe in it, but he's the main breadwinner. And if something happens to the children and in which I kind of whitewash it to say it's really not infidelity, is a financial decision that is creating wealth and capital. But then we need to have the discussion so we avoid those happenings in terms of one needs to spend money doing anything at all, whether or not it's beneficial to the family, that it does exist. And in order to avoid it, these are the steps that we need to take. And there has to be a part two for this because we can't, maybe a part three, we can't explore everything today based on how the timing. We don't want it to be very long. And of course, we want persons to be able to watch the videos in their entirety. And if they have comments, to make their comments based on experience or the knowledge or something that you'd like to know. Because I believe, and if you're getting into a relationship, similarly, in the previous live last month, we spoke about having to do your HIV test. I need to know your health status, your financial status. And if I don't know these things going into a relationship or even marriage, that we can have this play out in terms of financial infidelity, not knowing how you understand money, treat money, whether there's debt, any credit. What do you know about what I have from what I don't have can create those scenarios. Any
Definitely.
final word, Sir Andre Allen KC?
But I have a saying, it's very important that you know yourself before you give yourself.
Yeah,
And after you know yourself, so therefore, if you're a miser, you need to come clean and tell the person that you're a miser. And so you see, and not only that, and if you're a spendthrift, you need to come clean and say that. So give your partners a chance to decide whether or not this is going to work. And by the way, and love don't have nothing to do with it. So
speaking of
listen,
love, I was just thinking, what if I am hoarding the money then, or keeping the money a secret to get you a gift? Is that still infidelity?
no, no. So don't get me wrong, no. So we're talking about where
It's
um
it's secretive and it's
yes. So why is it that you don't want your partner to know? I'm saying if I would hold someone, if my wife would hold some money from me, and I find out if it's going to, why is it that if it doesn't have to, if it's not going to hurt the relationship when I find this out, then really and truly say from one standpoint it is not, because it's not bringing any type of harm or separation where the relationship is concerned. A matter of fact, we might even have a discussion and say that was quite prudent, or there was much wisdom in what you have done sometimes. And that's why it might be important for different folks to have their own set of money, so to speak, literally. So
separate
I decided
accounts.
this is
Yeah.
what I'm going to contribute towards the household expenses, and or to the home or to the family. This is what I can afford to contribute, but I have this amount that I have um, full autonomy over. It might be important for us to have those kind of agreement before we decide to think there to come together, especially where our finances are concerned. Have that kind of agreement so that at least if you decide you want to buy something for your partner, or you want to spend on your designer shoes or bags, or buy a car or whatever, then by all means you can do so, right? Because at least you have full autonomy with a
Over.
certain
Right.
portion of your money or
So
money.
Patricia said, surely we can agree to have separate accounts and decide who takes up which expenses, which is one of the solutions.
Definitely.
Definitely. But then we can also default on those agreements, as you had said before, that I may default on something that I'm responsible for and not telling you about it and skimming off money off something else to cover that
Yep.
secret.
That's
So
right.
you can still end up in fidelity if it is that you're not being open and honest and having those discussions with your partner that this is what is happening. Because if you're not able to pay it, go back to the drawing table and see where we can do adjustments, even though you're responsible. But if you're secretly taking money from somewhere else to pretend as if you have it covered or you're covered that bill, then you're still committing that infidelity. Sir,
Can I say one more thing quickly?
yes,
And this is it. I think full disclosure and transparency rather, is very important, because oftentimes we can have secret accounts open. And what do I mean by secret accounts? Where you actually start to find yourself looking after another family because you have full autonomy over your own money. Just saying, just
do we
putting that
want to
out there. Just putting that out there. We're not going to discuss it now, but just putting
will
that out
to
there.
be continued, to be to be continued. You have started something else now, but we have many more questions for you, Sir Alan Casey, and I appreciate it as usual when you jump on here. It's always informative and exciting and bordering troubling the mind sometimes in terms of provoking us. But I do thank you, and of course we'll be on again. Either it's next month or July, guys. You want to stay in touch with the live because it's once per month. So whenever it is, again, my dear friend or my favorite counseling psychologist is available. And of course, I've displayed his number for those of you who are interested in having those discussions with him. It's 876 360 6595. So
Nine
you
four.
94. Okay, let me put that in again. So it is 876-360-6594. So you want to make sure that you are calling him in regard to the services that he offers and get your relationship sorted out in terms of whether it is a financial infidelity or the other infidelity, whatever it is that you need help in. And of course, you want to make sure that we're open and having those discussions. So, sir, any final words?
Thank you very much for having me. And let's do this. Let's do part two next month. All being well.
I'm ready. Awesome. Thank you once again, guys. I want to thank you for watching as usual. Thank you for joining in the live. Thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel. I think I'm about at 136 or 39. I appreciate it. Remember to hit the notification bell so whenever it is a video or a live is up, you'll be the first to know. You can also set your reminders based on when the lives are up. I want to thank you for joining me this and every Sunday. Remember to stay focused, to stay strong, and to stay safe, guys. Love you. Walk good. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. I so do intend to.